So welcome back to Teaching Jobs Korea, and today we're here in the beautiful city of Jeonju, which is located in Jeolla province on the south side of Korea. It's a very nice city, and we're at a hagwon called Francis Parker English Academy at the Jeonju campus. And to give us some insight about the school's program, environment, and curriculum, we have teacher Langa and teacher Katelyn to share their experience about living and working in South Korea. And so please give a warm welcome. And Langa and Katelyn, it's a pleasure meeting both of you. Thank you for taking the time today.
Of course, thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it.
I guess just to start off, just to give a short background about, where you came from and how long you've been here for.
Sure. I'm American. I'm from the United States. I was born and raised in Missouri, which is like in the very middle. So there's nothing there but cornfields and tornadoes, basically. So I spent my life wanting to go anywhere else, basically. I went to university to study English. English has always been my passion. And I actually kind of fell into teaching English. That was never the plan, but I have no regrets. I started teaching small English language camps as well as volunteering, and then I was a full-time teacher starting here in Korea in 2018.
Did you do some teaching abroad as well, like in the US?
In the United States, we had camps. High school students from Taiwan would come over for immersion, and then we would go to Taiwan and do some lessons with them as well. Taiwan's great. And I also did a forest kindergarten in the Czech Republic, which is not like a structured school. It's a bunch of small children running up and down a mountain. It was fun. But I've been teaching as like an English teacher in a foreign country since 2018.
Okay, what about Korea? How many total years have you been in Korea for?
This is my 4th teaching year in Korea.
Langa, what about you?
I'm South African. I have always loved teaching. As a child, I always pretended to be a school teacher, and I would make my sister and my cousin the students, and I would always point at them. My mom even got me a chalkboard so that I could write on it. It was pretty cool. So this is like my dream.
So I guess you're living your dream right now, right?
Basically, yeah. But I did not do this in school. I also fell into it later on in life, but I really love it. I did between the years of 2019 and 2022, I did an after-school program where I was teaching kids ESL. So this is, I guess, natural progression.
How long have you been in Korea for now?
This is my 2nd year. I am planning on staying, so 3 years, yay!
How do you like Korea? Like, I know it must have been a change of pace, right? Especially coming from, what is that considered, Midwest?
Yeah.
Right, Midwest and South Africa. I'm sure the pace of life, if you got cornfields and stuff, right? And then coming out to, have you been to other parts of Korea too?
My first 3 years in Korea were in the Seoul area, and total culture shock. Total culture shock. It didn't matter if somebody spoke English or I went to an American restaurant or something. The pace, the feeling, the people commuting, the transportation, the way that people would hold themselves, very different.
Langa, have you been, since you've been here for 2 years now, right? Do you feel you're fully situated in the life of...
I don't think I'll ever feel that way. I'll always feel like a fish out of water just because this is so different. Everything is different. I am a foreigner, but I'm a foreigner.
But what about in terms of navigating your way to different places?
That's actually pretty easy. Korean technology is great in that department. You will never feel lost, even if you are lost. Literally, you can just look on Naver Map and it's like, oh, I'm here. And then you can call a taxi and then you're out of there.
I think one thing you just have to realize that you can't copy and paste anything in English in terms of addresses, right? And then the Google Maps doesn't really work, so you gotta use Naver, and then everything you gotta copy and paste to Korean. I think once you kind of know that method, then yeah, you can navigate pretty easily, I think, right? Now, Francis Parker is a big franchise school, right? I know that there's many campuses and various locations around Korea, right? I guess how long have you been at the Jeonju campus for now?
This is my 1st year, so, and Ms. Langa, you were here last year as well?
Yes, so this is my 2nd, and as I said, going into 3rd, and it's well run. Yeah, there's structure and some freedom, which I really enjoy. We have really structured lessons and curriculum that we follow. However, you also have so much creative freedom in how you teach that curriculum.
I guess in terms of in terms of the workload, there's actual teaching time, and then you got to prep for your classes, right? Do you feel that there's a good balance here, like in terms of the actual teaching and then being able to prepare within enough time to be able to kind of execute your class?
And the way that our work hours are laid out, there's always time at the end of every single day for reflection, for notes, and then for preparation for the next day. As well as we have the way that our schedule is, we don't have the same amount of classes every day. So some days we'll have extra preparation time for the bigger projects or for upcoming tests or some fun things we want to do. There is enough time, I feel, between class and prep.
And in terms of the age group of teaching, right? It's a kinder program basically, right? With a mixture of elementary classes. Is it kind of well balanced between the kinder program and then it transitions in the afternoon to elementary, or do you primarily have kinder throughout the whole day and then maybe like 1 or 2 elementary classes? Is it the latter?
Yes.
So I guess it's primarily like focused on the very young learners, right? I think in order to teach like kinder, because there's a lot of teachers that come out here, just looking at like, I want to work the daytime hours, right? And then they come out here and they're like, after about a year, it's like, oh, I don't know if I could do kinder, right?
I don't think I could do anything else because I feel like a child. Like, this to me it's going to sound like, ooh, but it's healing. Because I do so much childlike things that I enjoy.
I kind of know what you mean too, right? Because I think with interaction with like kinder level, they're honest. It's very genuine. There's no sugarcoating anything, right? So I think that genuine interaction, you don't really get that with adults. So I think that's where you kind of get that. That's where at least where I got it from when I taught kinder. And then you can kind of see them progress at a very early stage. And I think that part of it's really rewarding.
Very much. It's a huge motivation.
Then you gotta like walk them to the bathroom and like, sometimes.
There's definitely the more menial parts of our jobs that some people don't think about when they first come in to teach, because you're not just a teacher, you are also a caretaker. And yes, at most schools, there are the Korean staff that have a lot of that responsibility as well. But as a teacher, you also need to partake. You need to help zip up their jackets. You need to, teacher, it's an emergency. You gotta go.
Yeah, it's kind of like childcare too. I think you have to really have a genuine liking to kids,
yes,
right? And patience.
Which I didn't in the beginning, but I'm fine with it now.
I guess interacting with Korean students, is it kind of different than interacting with students, back home?
So that's an interesting question. I don't think it's specific Korean. I think it's specific to client. A lot of the time, I don't know about your experience, Miss Langa, you said your cousin and your sibling or whatever, obviously you could say whatever you wanted to them.
Yes, because we were all children.
Exactly. I felt very similarly working in things like Girl Scouts or even my younger brothers. It was a little bit more, we were on the same level. The vibe, I guess. The vibe is different when these parents are working very long hours at very difficult jobs to make enough money to send their kids to an English kindergarten, and there is expectations there. And that also means keeping the kids as happy as possible. So yes, be honest, and yes, be genuine, but also like sometimes you gotta be a little cuddly and coddling even when they don't listen to you, or there are things you're gonna have to swallow and keep to yourself, in a professional way.
Yeah, I think one thing you have to keep in mind with Hagwons is that it's a business, number one, and I think it's also accommodating to the clients, which is paying moms, and sometimes they can be a little particular, right? But understandable too, I guess, because like if you go to Seoul, the moms have very high expectations in certain areas, right? I'm going to assume that it's a little bit more laid back in Jeonju, right? I'm pretty sure you worked at Seoul before, so I guess, is there a big difference between the two? I know.
Yes, I also worked at a Seoul in Seongnam in Seoul, which is, it's like 15 minutes from Gangnam. And the general expectations, not just for children in Hagwons, but in every aspect, in service, in corporate, everything, in even civil maintenance and stuff. It's so much higher in like the planned cities or closer to Seoul. And part of the reason I moved to Jeonju is I get to focus more on teaching than I ever did in Seoul, as opposed to just test production or completing books or something like that. Obviously you have to do that, but here it feels way more like I'm actually doing something important.
I guess what would be like the main focus of the curriculum, Langa, here?
The curriculum is heavy on speaking, reading, and writing, especially speaking. Well, always English, please.
How do you get over the hurdle of like, when you're talking to a kinder level child, right? And it's very limited amount of comprehension that they have. How do you get over that hurdle of explaining a certain word or, phrase or something?
I hate to say dumb it down, but literally dumb it down. Like for grammar, we were just speaking about past tense, and you cannot say past tense because what does that mean? So you have to take it to it already happened. They understand that it's not happening right now, but it already happened. So every time someone said, I eat it, no, it already happened, I ate it.
But to be honest, learning irregular verbs is kind of hard to even explain. It's just like, why is it like that? It's like, just memorize it.
A lot of why. Why?
What would be like the general working hours of the day here? Like what time do you start and what time do you usually get off?
We get in at 9, but we start teaching at 10, and our working day ends at about 4:30, but we don't leave until 6. So all of that is like prep time or just relax, unwind, plan for the next day.
I know that with the kinder program too, there's a lot of events that you do. You just had Halloween, right? Did you guys have like a big...
She was fantastic. She made a piñata.
You made piñata? Okay.
I enjoy making stuff. So I made a piñata and the kids had so much fun whacking it around. It was great.
What about the campus? I guess how many classrooms are there at this campus? Roughly.
I'd say about 10.
How many native teachers?
There are 8 native teachers.
I guess in terms of like living in the area of Jeonju too, right? It is a smaller city. I was just here. I went to Hanok. Have you been to the Hanok Maor? You know the village. I was just there taking some videos, and then very nice. Kind of reminds me of like a Insadong kind of vibe, right? I don't know if have you been to Seoul yet?
I went, but not like I went to Seoul.
You're not finished with Seoul.
Yeah, you know with Seoul, you have to go to different areas. You just can't do it all in one day, right?
Yeah, there's a lot to do.
But from here, I think it's the same distance to go to like Busan too, right?
It is. Yes.
Everything kind of is very far away from Jeonju. So if you want to experience other things, you really kind of have to plan ahead. But there's things to do here as well.
It's kind of, Jeonju is not a very big city, but it's kind of spread out from what I kind of felt, right? I guess how is like the public transportation and just being able to commute to different places? Is it set up pretty well or?
It is.
It is.
I take the bus regularly. I take taxis regularly. I travel long distance regularly because I have a sister in Cheonan. So I also have been to Pyeongtaek. Yeah. So traveling is not hard. You can actually book a bus today for tomorrow. So it's great. You can get around.
They have a KTX here too.
We do have a KTX. We have a bus, 2 bus stations that go to different cities. And the bus stations are right next to each other. So if you accidentally book one at the Express and it's actually at the General Town, you just
jog really quick.
Yes, have both of you ever like worked an afternoon to evening shift with like teaching older kids? Mm-hmm. Katelyn, you have? Mm-hmm. I guess what was the big difference between like teaching the afternoon and then also teaching the morning shift?
Oh my heavens, Betsy. Like, huge.
We're listening. Tell us more.
So the thing is with teaching the older kids, your Hagwon, your English class, is not their first priority. It's never their first priority. They've got 6 other academies. Sometimes it feels like they have 6 other academies in the same day. And you're gonna deal with kids after piano, kids after taekwondo, kids after math, whatever. Or they have a test in their next academy and they're freaking out. They are never going to be 100% in your class. Maybe they have a lot of fun in your class. Don't depend on them to learn as much as you want them to. And you can't develop the rapport, and rapport is a big thing in teaching. They've taught us that from day one. You can't build that rapport that you do with the kids that you see for 6 hours a day. It's just not possible. And a kid could love you. And I've had elementary students I loved and adored. I could never have a relationship with them as I do with some of my students now.
Kinder level, right?
Kinder level, exactly.
And then plus when they get older too, you know, I think from like 2nd grade, they start getting a little clever. So they're like testing the waters of see what their limit is. And then when you go to like middle schoolers, it's just teenagers, right? That's just a challenge in itself. What about like life as a teacher in Korea? Langa, did you teach? You taught a little bit in South Africa too, right? I guess like how is it different, the teaching aspect of just kind of the work environment and just the teaching aspect of it as well?
I feel like in Korea it's better balanced because in South Africa it's more academic, whereas here there is room for other stuff. Back home it's just books. But I feel like I know the kids here are overloaded with this academy and that one, but it's better to have more choices than to have very limited choices.
What about like language barriers between like Korean staff or even Korean students, and then also, you know, just kind of being able to communicate?
That really comes down to how the school is run. I have worked at schools in which it felt like the Korean staff and the foreign staff were 2 different societies, and we were almost never on the same page. And that was a management issue. It's usually never a language issue. We luckily live in a day and age where even Papa Go can tell us like, hey, I need to go make copies of this. Is that okay? I was like, fine. And that's totally cool. But we currently work with a staff we can communicate well, just speaking. And I think if management is on top of it and if people come in with the right attitude, language is not necessarily a huge hurdle.
What about like the cultural difference of it? Because, you know, there's cultural mixed into that, right? Especially in a kind of a hierarchy work system too, right?
That can be a little more challenging.
Because there's things coming into this that I didn't know were celebrated or mattered. So definitely it was a learning curve. But like, you know, you learn, you get used to.
I think you just have to understand that, you know, the management on the Korean side too, it's like they grew up a certain way and they kind of are used to a certain work culture, which is just kind of Korean work culture, right? It's not really about like agreeing with it or disagreeing. It's just really understanding that it's there. And then that way you're not comparing it too much to how, you know, how it should be in the West, right? I think once you kind of let go of that and just kind of take it in for what it is and kind of just learn how to adapt to it, I think it helps you adjust to it a lot better and at least accept it. And then you find better, like it makes sense as you go, right? Like, for example, I know a lot of teachers that they start off as a teacher and then they somehow move up to like management, right? And now they're like mixed in with the Korean like management staff. Then they end up becoming more Korean than foreigner, you know what I mean? And sometimes they're a little bit more Korean than an actual Korean would be in certain aspects of it. But yeah. What about like the cultural, just adjusting to Korean life? You know, it's very different of what, you know, how it is in South Africa and Korea, right?
It's different. Just like number one thing, the way people dress. That's always like, wow, this is how you guys dress. Wow.
Just black, gray, and
I made a joke. I was like, everyone here dresses like backup dancers. And it's true. They do. And like, but it's fine. It's just also back home, I'm used to so much more skin. I'm a little bit desensitized to skin.
I'm sure more color too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. It's just gray, beige, white.
Even the cars, if you go outside, it's just all black, white, gray.
Also, because I'm from Durban, it's tropical. So we are used to wearing flowy things, colorful things. And here it's like a whole nother universe. But I'm adjusting. I mean, look at me.
You look great, kid.
After like 2 years, after I like place a teacher, they come out for the first time, and then I see them like 2 years later. Like their hairstyle is a little bit different, their clothes is a little bit more trendier to the Korean style, right? They probably didn't think they were going to wear skinny jeans ever, but then they come out to Korea and they're wearing skinny jeans.
Oh, you are behind. No one wears skinny jeans anymore.
Oh yeah, right now it's like the baggy, what I used to wear like back in the 90s, right?
Yes.
Back in the 90s.
But it is a fairly homogenous culture.
What about like going out to restaurants and kind of just, you know, talking to people outside? Are you able to kind of navigate through that okay?
If I navigate, because I mean, I can like walk into an establishment, look at a menu or like QR code, order something. Am I having a good time? I don't know. But I'm there.
You find this more in the countryside, like in Jeonju, in cities like Jeonju. If someone at a restaurant or an establishment knows a little bit of English, you find this more and more in the countryside and less in places like Seoul. They'll come up to you and be like, hi, my name is, and then they'll give whatever English name they've chosen. And they try to speak to you in like, where are you from? What are you drinking? Blah, blah, blah. And it's actually very sweet. And I really love interactions like that.
I mean, obviously, because you've been in Jeonju now and then you're going to recontract for a second year, right, here. So obviously the city kind of grew on you, right? I think the Jeollado people, they're kind of known for, I don't know if you heard like what Korean chung is, like chung. Koreans have like, once you get close with them, they have like this attraction of like, you know, friendship. So you feel a lot of warmth in through the people, because people here are very warm. They're very inviting, right? Good food too. I think Jeonju has good food.
I cannot speak on this much, but yeah, I like squid, and I love the way Koreans make squid. It's
like cooked, right?
yeah. Oh, why would I just eat it?
Well, they have raw squid too.
No.
And it kind of moves and it like moves on your face and stuff.
No.
You just dip it in some soy sauce and you're good to go.
But I can still remember I first visited Jeonju back in 2018 when I first came to Korea, and I had pageant for the first time and I had bibimbap for the first time, and I was like, I'm gonna live.
You don't have
right
any
here.
Korean restaurants back in Midwest?
No, there are no Korean restaurants in the Midwest at all. None.
You should go open up a Korean barbecue.
I would make so much money.
Do you have access to like Korean food back in South Africa, Durban?
One restaurant in Cape Town, I don't even know if it still exists anymore. They were doing barbecue. It was an interesting experience. I wouldn't repeat it. don't go there. Just come to Korea.
Also with Jeonju, you know, it's a big tourist attraction area too because of the Hanok Mawer, right? I guess, do you meet like different types of diverse set of people when you are, you know, since living here?
Especially in the Hanok village. I have a friend who is a representative. He's Korean. He's one of the big representatives for couch surfing. And so he gets lots of people coming into his apartment to stay and he shows them around. So I've met a girl from Denmark who was biking the entire peninsula as much as she could. I've met a couple from Germany. You get lots of Europeans who come in, just a little bebop, a little around. We saw a French family the other day. My friend and I, we ran into a French family with their 3 kids. Yeah, I would say so. Lots of Europeans, I think, more than, a lot of the Americans and Canadians go to Seoul.
I guess, have you made a lot of friends since here? Do you have like a nice group of people that you...
Acquaintances.
Acquaintances?
Yeah.
How do you meet people? Is it just like randomly, you just like, hey, where are you from? Or is there like a Facebook group that you kind of join?
I have posed this question and I was told, go on the apps, go on the app. I did not go on the apps. I met people outside. I went to pubs, clubs, and I met people.
What about Korean people? Korean friends? Do you have some Korean friends that you made? Or acquaintances?
Most Korean friends or acquaintances I've either worked with or I met through other foreigners.
What about Korean food? I mean, adjusting to like the spiciness, right? I think Korean food is either sweet or spicy.
I can't do sweets. That was weird for me. Everything has sugar on it or sweet corn or sweet potato.
That's true.
And I don't like any of those things. So unfortunately, it just wasn't for me.
I had sweet garlic bread the other day.
I know, people keep on telling me about the sweet garlic bread.
It was horrible. I was devastated.
I personally think it's okay.
It was fine. It was just when I went for the first bite, excited about garlic bread, and then I tasted like a pancake. I was like, no, this is breakfast.
I think it's just, I don't know, it'll probably had a Paris baguette.
No, I don't mean where does it I mean.
Oh no, I mean, it's a Korean, I don't know, I think some Korean just came up with it.
That's so odd, especially the sweet corn. It's on everything. Pizza, sweet.
Oh, I know, I can't stand when there's corn on pizza, right? Like, I like corn and everything, but just not on like certain.
On a cob, yeah, anytime. Not on any other things though.
What about like foreign like restaurants here? Are you able to? Do you have access to like different like American foods, Italian? Well, I'm pretty sure pasta.
Take on foreign foods, which is not the same.
Right, I get it. It's like a Korean style pizza.
Yeah, and I love pizza.
You need like a Domino's.
No, there's Domino's.
I don't want to speak ill of Domino's. So. It's just not my favorite franchise. So
you know, cafes are a big thing here too, right? Like different cafe cultures, like Baskin Robbins. You don't see Baskin Robbins the way it is in the States, like here, right? It's like a trendy.
It's different though.
But you know, like Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins in the States, it's just you just go there and get what you need and leave, right? But here it's like a date, like you go there for dates and
I
stuff.
was actually complaining to a friend of mine about this. He used to live in Korea as well, and I was complaining how all the pubs and places to meet people are turning into these very trendy copies of cafes, and they're more expensive and you meet fewer people, and they close at 6 and it's very annoying.
That's the thing about Korea too, is that it's so hard to follow the different trends because it changes so quickly too, right?